Hello everyone and welcome to the lesson number 6 of the IELTS Strategies and Tips course, where we are trying to get our maximum band score with the tips we use without accessing or increasing or improvement our level of English, but working on our vocabulary and different interesting strategies. So today's lesson is going to be the review of writing as a module of IELTS, both in general training and in academic, with requirements, briefly requirements and some rules you need to use for doing the task correctly. So let's first clarify what is writing module about. So totally we are going to have about 60 minutes given for 2 different tasks. Task 1 is going to be devoted to the explanation of a diagram or chart or graph or any other visual material with some information. Task 2 is going to be devoted to the response to an argument, which is going to be given for you. If to compare with general training model, the task number 1, you're going to have to write an article or a letter, and in task number 2 you are going to write an essay on the set topic or problem for you. For both formats, academic and general training, the limits are the same. The requirements about the volume of your answer are the same. Them we are going to review right now. First of all, task number 1 is going to take you 20 minutes and not more, and you are going to write about 150 words in order to follow the limits. And in task number 2, you are going to be given 40 minutes and the requirement is 250 words, which is almost twice more than in task number 1. So let's figure out what are the tasks about. We will talk both about academic and about general training. But in fact, the requirements, the expectations of examinators are almost the same, are very close the same. You just need to understand that in academic format, the requirements are harder, tougher. But in general training, you are given more, like you can be given higher score for lower representation of your arguments, comparison ability, and so on. But we will see all the abilities we need to possess to pass writing task. So if we talk about academic task 1, you are going to write a summary in response to a particular graph, table, chart, or process. So visual material, as I mentioned before. And there are 3 types of graph mentioned on the slide. They are bar graph, line graph, and pie chart. If you were attentive to review the previous slide, you can return back to it right now. Then you will understand what your task number 1 is going to be about. So you are going to have some visual material for review, and that's what you're going to demonstrate while reviewing this task. In task number 1 of academic format, you're going to demonstrate the ability to select and report the main features, your ability to describe and compare data, your ability to identify significance and trends in functional information, and also your ability to describe a process. So of course, it depends on type of visual information you're going to be given, but in general, those are the abilities tested during type number 1. They are not asking your opinion on any issue. They are not asking you to demonstrate your personal attitude. This is not about you. This is about chart or graph or table which you are going to describe to identify the significant data and point it out in your writing task. As example, we are going to review one task and you will see how could the task look like in your task papers. For the example, we are going to review one sample task which is taken from one of the sample tasks of academic format. You should spend about 20 minutes on this task. The table below shows the number of medals won by the top 10 countries in the London 2012 Olympic Games. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features. and make comparisons where relevant. You see, here you are already given the expectation. You need to summarize, you need to compare, and you need to review the data first and to report on what you saw in this visual material. So after this text task, you will be given the diagram itself or the chart itself, which will be your task for review. More about how to deal with each and every visual material I will tell you in our further lessons devoted to writing practice and strategies. Now let's see the example of task number 1 for general training module. You should spend about 20 minutes on this task. You live in a room in college which you share with another student. However, there are many problems with this arrangement and you find it very difficult to work. Write a letter to accommodation officer at the college. In the letter, describe the situation, explain your problems and why it is difficult to work. Say what kind of accommodation you would prefer. You should write at least 150 words. You could notice that as a difference between academic and general training formats, you're not going to have visual material to be reported on in your general training. You're going to have the situation you need to describe, and you have some requirements, some points to be mentioned. So, in my opinion, of course, it's much easier when you know what you need to point out in your letter which you're going to write. And of course, here, the format of letter writing is important, if you understand how to do it or not. So this is a practice we are going to do during our practice exercises on writing strategies and tips. By the way, we forgot about the end of the task to be read. So, you do not need to write your own address. Begin your letter as follows. Dear Sir or Madam. You see, in general training, you're even given the way to start your essay or the way to start your article, your letter. Because for many people who have the low level of English, pretty low or like medium level, it is difficult to start writing if they don't know what should be the starting point. So this is making the much easier the task which we see in general training module. So now let's review the task number 2. We have already discussed in previous slide that in task number 2 you are going to be given 40 minutes and the requirement at the length of your essay or your report is going to be 250 words. So what are the tested abilities you're going to have in task number 2? Let's see the list. So the writing task 2 tests your ability to respond by giving and justifying an opinion, also your ability to discuss the topic and summarize details, your ability to outline problems, to identify possible solutions, to support why you write with reasons, arguments, and relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. By this, it is meant that task number 2 is more about your own opinion, which you were not allowed to share in task number 1 in academic format. General training format, you were supposed to write your ideas, explanation of the situation. But in academic, you were supposed just to analyze as not your personal opinion. In task number 2, both for academic and for general, you are going to share your attitude to the problem, to the question, to the issue, and you're going to explain your opinion, to explain your position and give your personal example. So this is one of the most important points. They test your ability to share your personal experience, to exemplify your statements, your ideas with your personal opinion. And here we are going to use one of the techniques of formulas of stating the idea. When you give your idea first, then you're going to explain why you think so, the reason why you think so. Then you're going to sort of prove it with some example. So this is pretty easy formula, and if you follow this formula, this is going to be your key to success in task number 2. Trust me, and we will work with this formula more in our further lessons. Now let's see the examples both for academic format and for general training format. Task sample number 2. First, academic writing task number 2 example. You should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Write about the following topic. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Parents are the best teachers. Use specific reasons and examples to support your answer. Give reasons for your answer and indicate any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. Write at least 250 words. So even if you forgot that you need to share your personal experience while exemplifying your statements or your ideas, your position, your attitude to the problem, they remind you this at the end of the task, so you will never forget it if you read the task carefully. Now let's see the example of task number 2 for general training format for a writing module. You should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Write about the following topic. Some people believe that teaching children at home is best for a child's development, while others think that it's important for children to go to school. Discuss the advantages of both methods and give your own opinion. Give reasons for your answer and indicate your relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. Write at least 250 words. So as you see, it looks like even the plan, the outline given for you, they give you the points, they give you 2 positions, they give you 2 opinions of people of different view of the problem, and you just need to choose which is your position and exemplify it, prove it, and give your own reasons for choosing this or that position. So this is a brief review of task number 1 and task number 2 of a writing model of IELTS, both for academic format and for general format. Now you know how your 2 tasks are going to look like. You observed several examples, and now you're going to get deeper into the topic of each specific module, if it's general for your case or if it's academic in your situation. Good luck with your studies, and hope to see you soon at our third lesson to review the new aspect.